We're living in a world where a lot of people now understand it's a terribly lonely time. I discovered that there were leaders that desperately wanted to bring people together, and they just didn't know how to do that in a way that would make it meaningful.
He's the author of 3 books. Charles Vogl's first book, the international bestseller, The Art of Community, shares how both community and belonging can be built through time-tested principles and rituals.
Very engaging.
I thought it was excellent.
Impactful.
After the Peace Corps, Charles founded a social impact documentary film company in New York City. His PBS film projects won many awards, including the Amnesty International prestigious Movies That Matter Award.
In order to have any success, I had to become good at bringing people together around shared values and purpose to work together, and in none of those experiences could I rely on transactional relationships.
One word, wow. Not something I've seen before.
I had to stop crying because it was so powerful.
When thousands of people together acknowledge the loneliness we're all living in, it's an acknowledgement that this is an us problem and a we problem and not simply a my problem, and that we can do something about it.
Please join me in welcoming Charles Vogl.
The research shows that everyone in this room is living in the loneliest era of American history. A couple statistics just to anchor that. Almost 80% of 18 to 24-year-olds are lonely. Or said differently, our youth are not getting the skills they need to build the relationships they need to handle the challenges of life. I want to share an idea with you that if you use it, it will destroy isolation and loneliness wherever you are. And when I share it with you, it's going to sound too simple to some of you, but I promise you, if you use it, it will work. This distinction is called invitation. An invitation is a request to spend time where the person invited knows that someone cares if they show up. We're giving a data point to the people we're inviting that someone in the world thinks they belong. The organizations that reach out to me, they're working with people who are very, very highly skilled, who have to cooperate in very careful ways for success. They're working in fields that are so dynamic that whatever rule book or playbook there was no longer applies. I want to make sure that people in the room understand if and how much this subject is relevant to their lives. And one of the ways I do that is we take a moment and I invite the room to share in small groups with others a time they recognized they were lonely and others didn't know they were lonely. And then when some of the brave people in the room share that with the whole room, it highlights that we are all surrounded by people who want us to get better at bringing people together around shared values and purpose.
Immediately after the birth of my first child,
I wasn't always the one that got invited. In fact, I never got invited.
I go home to an empty house.
People that we know just want to know that they're invited. They want to know that someone in their life thinks that they belong and is inviting them to be connected in ways they are not yet. I'm talking about a very specific and very simple idea. Community is simply a group of people who share mutual concern for one another. And when we're talking about building leadership and community building, all we're talking about are the things that we're doing to facilitate growing those relationships of mutual concern. When we start creating intimate experiences that allow people to show up in the way they want to show up, we start learning things about their lives they're wrestling with that they don't share in any other contexts. We're telling other people that we have the power to bring people together. And those are experiences, if we create them, change lives for a generation.